Hey everyone, Dave here. It cost me $2,089 to drive 16,391 miles in 2024 in my Tesla Model Y. I'm going to break down the exact cost with my real world driving along with the current 2025 cost. In addition, we'll compare it to gas equivalents. The cost to charge a Tesla can vary significantly, like 80% depending upon how much the energy company charges you for electricity, but more on that later. So based on my driving habits, the terrain here in Sacramento, California area, and I'm using Sentry mode, air conditioning, heater, and all of that, I'm getting an average of 2.73 miles per kilowatt. Since the entire car runs off the battery power, that means anything that you use the car for with Sentry mode, the air conditioner, etc., is consuming the battery, ultimately reducing your miles per kilowatt. At 2.73 miles per kilowatt with my 2023 Tesla Model Y, that means with 100% full charge, I'm going to get about 204 miles for a full charge. But most of the time you only charge to 80% in order to preserve your battery. So that's going to give you about a usable 160 miles. I think Tesla rates the car at about 4 miles per kilowatt, giving you roughly about 300 miles of range. But since the car is really fast and fun to drive, I typically have a heavy foot, and my kids like to play this game where I accelerate quickly and try to push them to the back of their seat. They find it to be really fun. So I think that brings my kilowatt per mile down a bit. Based on our daily usage around town, the battery life is always plenty for us. We never have to use a supercharger to recharge. We'll just drive the car throughout the day, then just plug it in at night so it's ready to go for the next day. So let's take a look at how much it cost me to drive my Tesla Model Y in 2024. So I spent $2,089 for 16,391 miles, but roughly about 13% or 770 kilowatts was from a supercharger, but I had 6 months free of supercharging, so it would have actually costed me more if I would have had to pay for the supercharger. So if I remove the supercharger miles and energy, I used 5,234 kilowatts to go roughly just over 14,000 miles. Now, my cost of charging at home was the $2,089, which cost me roughly about $175 per month. Now, keep in mind, I have PG&E, which is insanely expensive. I spent an average of 40 cents per kilowatt, and many of you out there have a lot lower energy cost of like 10 cents a kilowatt. So for some of you with the same driving mileage as I had, you would only spend like $523 for the year or about $45 per month. That is why I bought an entire solar system with a Powerwall this year in 2025, because I was spending about $700 per month to power my home and my Tesla Model Y. I actually did a full breakdown video. You can check that video up here or it'll be in the description. Let's take a look at how my cost for my Tesla Model Y compares with a comparable gas-powered vehicle. According to AI in Sacramento, California, the average cost per gallon here was $4.96 for the year of 2024. Some comparable models to the Tesla Model Y are the Ford Edge, the Mazda CX-5, or even the Jeep Grand Cherokee. Keep in mind that the EPA estimates for these cars aren't really what people actually get, just like my Tesla Model Y is supposed to get 4 miles per kilowatt, but I'm getting more like 2.73. For the 4-cylinder turbo all-wheel drive Ford Edge, it gets a combined city and highway miles per gallon of 24. That's based on the EPA ratings, where we know it gets a little bit lower than that, so we'll consider it 20 miles per gallon. And most of the driving I do is around city, so it'd probably be even lower, but we'll call it 20 miles per gallon. So the average cost per mile with 20 miles per gallon is about 25 cents per mile, and that's based on $4.96 price per gallon. My cost on my Tesla with my ridiculously high PG&E electricity rates brings the average cost per mile to 15 cents. Now, when you compare that to the Ford, that's about 40% less. So driving the same mileage that I did in 2024 would have cost the Ford roughly about $1,500 more at about $3,500, or $100 more per month versus my $175. So based on my PG&E electrical rates, my miles per gallon for my Tesla would equal out to about 33 miles per gallon. So that would be like a gas efficient Toyota or Honda car. Keep in mind, if you get normal energy rates around about 10 cents a kilowatt, that would bring up my miles per gallon for the Tesla up to 99 miles per gallon. Now the math on the Mazda and the Jeep, they're pretty similar as well. You'll get a little better with the Mazda or the Jeep, but either way, it's still more efficient with my Tesla and my high energy costs. Because of my high energy costs, I ended up getting a solar system with a Powerwall. So now I'm actually able to charge my Tesla directly from the sun, and it makes it feel like I'm getting free charging on my Tesla, which is super cool. In 2025, I've charged roughly 2,358 kilowatts, which has gotten me just under 6,500 miles. Now, I've charged the Tesla so far this year 50% from the sun for free charging. That's bringing my cost down to roughly about $500 so far year to date, or about an average of $80 per month. If you have any questions on how much it costs to charge your Tesla, or any questions related to charging, go ahead and drop a comment and I will reply. Well, I hope this video helped bring some clarity on how much it costs to charge a Tesla Model Y, California energy rates, and real world experience. This video is not sponsored in any kind. I created this channel, Dave made, to just share my interest about tech, solar, DIY projects, and if you want to see any more content, make sure you subscribe. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you on the next one.